I'm in Salad and I saw Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It is directed by John Hughes. This movie was requested many times in the comments below, and so I was like, you know what? Thanksgiving, Trains, Planes, and Automobile. Thank y'all for leaving a bunch of suggestions. Always leave a recommendation in the comments below, and if it's requested enough, I will review it. My previous exposure to this movie was that my adopted parents had a box set of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but I've never watched it before this Thanksgiving. I saw it, I was like, hey, I like the name. I'm gonna keep using the scheme Planes, Trains, and Automobiles just throughout my life. And so sometimes I'll say Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and some variant of that. So if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. The movie starts with following Neal Page. He's in New York, he's a businessman, he's on a business trip, and he's got 2 days to get to his family for Thanksgiving. And he's about to take a plane. But there's some struggle trying to get to the plane. First of all, he's held up in a business meeting where somebody's very indecisive. Just pick already. Pick an advertisement, please, because he's in an advertisement firm. And then he's trying to call a cab. And as he's calling the cab, someone swoop takes the cab. And he's like, ah! And then also his briefcase gets run over, which I found this to be a very nice touch. Neal Page has a lot of bad luck, it seems. And then when he goes to the airport, looks like all the airlines were delayed. He meets a guy named Dal who sells shower curtains to people. The shower curtain rings, specifically. And I'm just thinking, what a really funny thing to sell people. Because it's one thing that you don't think about you needing shower curtain rings until you have a shower curtain. You're like, oh wait, shower curtain rings? Those are important. Who am I going to buy my shower curtain rings from? Oh, Dell, of course. Thank you for selling me shower curtain rings. And he's a very talkative guy. Dell and Neal get placed to each other on the plane. Dell wouldn't shut up. He won't shut up. He won't stop talking, which is his personality. And I'm at this point, I'm like, yeah, maybe you should chill a little bit. Maybe stop talking. I'm honestly I'm the type of person to be completely silent on an airplane, because if you've ever been on an airplane and you got the white noise in the background, I feel like it is weird to make a noise during that white noise. And I'm just like, yeah, I'd rather just have headphones instead, listen to music or whatever. I wouldn't try to talk to somebody, and if I do, it's very brief. I am not the talkative type, so I completely understand Neal's very annoyed, and he's stuck in the middle between this old man who sleeps on his shoulder, and then also Dell, who's also next to him on a plane, and then he gets stuck in Wichita, Kansas, which is not Chicago. I've been through Wichita. Wichita is a pretty cool place. However, I wouldn't really want to get stuck in there, especially during the holiday season. And Neal is like, well, there's a bunch of plane delays. How am I gonna get home? I have to spend the night here? Okay, well, I'm gonna try to call everyone, but no one has a room. I've experienced that pain before. Oh, wow, it's way too close to home. And then, guess who actually gets a room? Dell gets a room. And he's like, hey, I'm Dell, you're Neal. Neal, could you please grab me a cab and I will hook you up with the room? They go to the place where they have the rooms and, they put their cards down. But turns out that Dell has accidentally grabbed Neal's card, and I'm just like, yeah, that's not ill intent. I don't hold any ill intent towards Dell. He seems like a guy who's just having a nice time, who's having a fun time, who's a really nice guy, honestly. I might be friends with Dell, but what do you guys think? If you guys saw Dell in the wild, would you guys be friends with him? Please let me know in the comments below. I want to know if I'm the only one that would be friends with him. But he does have plenty of friends, though. He's a friendly guy, and they order a room with a double, and instead of getting 2 beds, They have one double bed. It's like, are we expected to sleep through this? Sleep on this bed together? I was like, maybe you should just give Dal the bed. You sleep on the floor. But Neal's the type of person who doesn't think that he should be sleeping on the floor. He feels entitled to things, I feel. That was my read on him. And so he got him, like, sweeping off parts of the hotel room, even though it's kind of dirty, honestly. I don't know if the bathroom was as dirty as it was when they got there. I didn't see a scene where Dal unloaded all of his things in the bathroom, but there's just like a bunch of stuff there. I'm like, who in their right mind would leave stuff there from other people sleeping in that room previously? I'm talking specifically to the hotel. Why would you skimp out on cleaning service if you want people to sleep in your hotel? Of course, this hotel probably isn't the one that Neal would have gone with. Maybe this hotel isn't the one that he called, but it is the one that Dal knew a guy that bought his shower ring. I really like that Dal just knows everyone that can help him along this situation. He knows a guy who he sold rings to. Oh yeah, I knew a guy. Oh, I just talked to a guy. Oh, I just knew a guy. Oh, I just talked to a guy. It was very nice. And I asked him politely, and I said yes. I really like Dal's way of handling things, but however, Neal is not a big old fan. He blows up at Dal. He's like, you're talkative, you're too fat, but more importantly, you're way too talkative and annoying. We have Dal who's like, you know what, I may be too talkative, but my wife loves that I'm too talkative. And all my friends love that I'm too talkative. I like me. I'm gonna stay me. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you, Dal. I'm glad that you stood up for yourself. Even after all the whole blow up, they eventually die things down to the point where they're now sleeping in the same bed together. We have Neal who's uncomfortable and Dal who's not. Dal earlier, while Neal was in the shower, put a coin in the vibrating bed coin slot, and the bed vibrates. I've never seen a vibrating bed. I found it hilarious, and also I would love a vibrating bed. It'd feel like a massage, I think. He's smoking a cigarette, put a couple of beers down, beers spilt, and the beers spilt in the spot that Neal has to sleep in, so he's uncomfortable, but they do eventually sleep. Somebody, third party, a burglar, he goes into the room and burgles them out of all the money in their wallets. And they wake up, spooning. They're like, ah, gross, ah, no, not this, yeah, I don't like singing. But I honestly love how they're like, did you see the football game today? Yeah, it was great. Great team, they did win greatly. And I'm just like, that's a hilarious joke. And they go out to breakfast, and they're about to eat lots of food. They eat some of the food. They're talking about their travel plans. Who's gonna pay? Open up wallet. Neal opens up wallet, thinks that Dal stole his money. Dal is like, here, I do not appreciate the accusation that I stole your money. Take my wallet, look at it, count everything in there. And then it's also wallet, so they were robbed, they were burgled. And now they're just sitting by the side of the diner, and I'm like, maybe they paid with their card. Maybe Dal sold the waitress a bunch of shower curtain rings. I'm curious as to how they paid for it, but it doesn't really show us. Now we're at the part where Neal's like, well, how am I gonna get home? Airplane looks bad. I'm gonna buy a train. Hello, Dal, you're gonna also be on a train, but you're gonna be on a train way further back than I will be. And they're all training about until they get stuck in the middle of somewhere, in the middle of Missouri, in the middle of Misery State. It's literally called Misery. Oh gosh. Neal climbs out of the train. He sees Dal, he feels bad, and I'm like, you do have a heart. I'm glad that you have some heart. And you go over to Dal and you help him out. And I'm glad you guys are doing that. I'm glad you guys are helping each other out. Well, this train is no longer, so we gotta get ourselves a car. We're not at the car stage yet though, but instead they find a bus. They go to a bus to St. Louis, they eat some yum yum. How do they get some yum yum? Well, Dal is like, I'm a great salesman. He sells so many of the shower curtain rings to people as earrings. And I'm like, wow, that's so brilliant. You must be like the best salesman ever. Please teach me your tricks. I love his tactics are like, yeah, that will look like jewelry. That'll look like earrings. Like if you have like big old gauges, it'll fit perfectly. And I'm just thinking, wow, I never even thought to consider shower curtain rings as earrings. But that's how he gets all the money to eat lunch. We have Neal being like, you're a good salesman. And then eventually, Neal offends Dal and they split up. This is very sad. How will they forever get back together? Neal is like, well, I'm gonna have to get a car. I'm gonna go rent a car. Ring, ring, I would like to rent a car, please. Okay, car is here. Boom, go to place. Car is not there. And I'm just thinking, I've had to deal with this too. Oh, the pain, the pain. I hate rental car companies. They're the worst. Especially when they lie about what car that you've rented and charge you more. But that's an unrelated rant. Let's continue on with Neal struggling to get a car. He's like, well, I have no car. I'm gonna go to the rental car person and I'm gonna yell at her. And I'm like, that's not how you speak to a customer service employee. Of course, the representative does not want to help you because you're so mean to her. Be nice. Neal, I'm starting to think that you get such a bad rap because you're mean to everyone and you're entitled and you're very tight. You're like, I have to stick to the rules. I have a plan. And then he misses his chance to go to Chicago. Guess who comes? Dal picks him up in a rental car. And it's like, how did you get a rental car? Well, I just asked. What amazing people skills from Dal. Neal should really take some notes. And of course, they're right in the car. There's a lot of fun moments where we see Dal just smoking down the road. Smoke, 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 smoke. Oh yeah, smoking, and he throws the cigarette out, and the cigarette lands in the back of the car, still lit. And I'm like, oh, that's terrifying. We also see an argument between Dal and Neal. Neal leaves his wallet in the glove compartment. I'm like, oh, he's gonna forget it for something very important. And then also, they argue, they got off the ramp. And then, oh no, we'll have to go back this way. And we're gonna go down the wrong way. And being between two trucks cause a bunch of damage to the side of the rental car, lose the mirrors, stop in the middle of the road. We have to go grab the trunk and all of the other stuff that flew in the middle of the highway because we did a hard brake. They're still in the wrong side of the road still. We even got people like, hey, you're driving the wrong way. And Neal's like, you don't know where we're going. But like, you're literally on the wrong side of the highway. Of course, he just woke up. I don't blame him for thinking that, but maybe you should use your eyes, maybe? Maybe you should think, they're on the right side of the road. I'm on the left side of the road. I think I'm on the wrong side of the road. This is America. Of course you're gonna be driving on the right side. It would be weird to see someone going the same way you are on the right side of the road if you're on the left side of the road. We also see that while the car goes on fire, Neal's like, oh, this is all your fault. Ha ha, you have to deal with the damages. Actually, I used your card that I didn't mean to pick up, but I used your car for the rental car, so now you have to deal with all the damages. And I'm just thinking, how unfortunate. Of course, Neal is angry, punches him in the gut. I don't think that's very necessary. But Neal is not a very nice person. But they do have to go find a hotel. They go to a hotel. They don't have any money on themselves. Neal's like, well, I'm gonna have to go get a hotel and try to buy a hotel with $17. Could you please take $70 in cash? Nope, says the hotel guy. Well, $17 in cash plus a watch. Here you go, here's the keys. All right, let's go to the room. Well, me first, just me, Neal. So I'm gonna get a room, and you're gonna sleep in the cold, Dal, but I'm gonna feel bad for you. So you're gonna be able to come in with me, and we're gonna share some liquor. And I'm like, man, what a nice bonding moment. We get to see a lot of bonding stuff happening together, which is adorable. We also get to learn a little bit more of Dal's wife, that he really loves her. We also see them try to escape the hotel because they're snowed in car, but they reverse and they hit the motel and then they go fast and they keep on going. They keep on trucking to Illinois, the state. They're driving through Illinois and the cop pulls them over. They're like, do you think this car is fit to drive? And Dal, he's driving, he's like, sir, I know I broke the law. I'm sorry, I couldn't be able to tell how fast I was going because my speedometer is melted. Yeah, it makes sense that you're going to impound my car, but we don't have a way for my lovely friend here, Neal, to get home for Thanksgiving. And they just go to the sheriff's office, his car gets impounded, but you know what Dal does? He convinces a semi-truck driver to let him and Neal sit in the back of the refrigerated section in the semi-truck part, the trailer part, and they're trucking to Chicago. And they get dropped off, and we also have Neal is like, well, I'm gonna go on a train, but I'm gonna think about the words that Dal has told me. Weird things he said about his wife. Let me go ask him about that. It goes to a train station area where Dal is. Hey Dal, where are you going? Where's your family? Well, I haven't had a family for many years. Why? Well, my wife is dead. She's been dead for 8 years. It's like tearjerker moment. And of course, Neal feels bad, so he's like, come here. You're gonna have Thanksgiving with us. You're gonna have Thanksgiving with my family. And we're gonna have a nice Thanksgiving. And I'm gonna introduce you to my wife. She's so pretty. And wow, Neal just changed. He made a friend. That's how the movie ends. I'm like, there's a few heartstringy moments where I'm like, I feel it right inside my core. But there's also a bunch of hilarious moments where I'm like, this is peak of cringe comedy. Oh boy. I really enjoyed the performances of John Candy, Steve Martin, and I'm glad that I can remember their names so well because they did such a great job. I especially like John Candy. I like their dynamic. I really like the I'm a stick, I have to be rigid, versus, I'm a blob. I'm a big old blob. I can be fluid. I go with the flow, stuff like that. I enjoyed that. The cinematography was also quite splendid. I quite enjoyed just seeing their journey. I felt like I was along their journey the entire way. This was a journey, I swear. This was the most journeyest journey ever. And I found it especially fun because I've been through all the states that they're talking about. Kansas, or at least the east side of Kansas, is very flat, but there's some trees, and the climate of West Missouri is similar to that. And then we get to kind of closer to the Illinois border, and it's a little bit more tree and a little bit more hilly. And then I haven't been that far into Illinois, close enough to Chicago, but I would imagine there's a lot of people there. There's a whole lot of people there. And it makes sense that a semi-truck is going to go through Chicago. And I'm so glad that you found a way to get home for Thanksgiving through unconventional means. That is a dedicated family man right there. And I hope Dal remains part of the big old family. I hope Dal remains close. Man, what a good guy. He's like, I'll just stay for pie. Meaning he's gonna leave early. But you're a part of the family. Come on, you helped me. You helped me come with my family. You helped me stay with my family for Thanksgiving. You did a really good service. Man, I really just love the characters here. I focused mostly on the characters that I didn't focus on the colors, because the colors I felt really fit well with the message of the movie. I feel like the colors fit well with the tone of the movie. Bright because it's like a comedy. With some of the darkness parts, it's still like kind of bright. It's a lot of bright colors, except for parts where it's supposed to be gross. I also really like the decoration of the hotel, both hotels. One was like blue themed, and then one was like orange. So like one was a little bit cozier and like less gross than the first one. There is just so much to enjoy in this movie that I do recommend that you do watch it if you haven't seen it, especially for Thanksgiving. And because this is a classic for a reason, I gotta give this movie a solid 7.8 out of 10. If you like this review, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. The ultimate goal of this channel is for me to become an expert movie reviewer, so you can request a comment in the... So you can request a review in the comments below. You can fast track the request at patreon.com/ASEPresents for $20 a month for one movie review per 1 month, or $3 a month for some daily vlogs at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grindiness, go to this link tree for some NSFW content, daily sets. It really helps with the daily grind of these movie reviews, so go here. And until next time, I'm Mint Salad Saw. I'll see you later, my salad croutons bacon bits.